With the ever hiking prices of new cars and especially electric cars, affordable mobility is now more important than ever before. And that is where the king of affordable mobility comes in, the Dacia Sandero. But even the Dacia Sandero has seen a price hike. A few years ago, you could get one of these for around £8,000, but now they start from around £14,000. So do they still offer as good value for money as they ever did? Well, hopefully that's what I'm going to find out in today's video. Hi guys, Tish here and welcome back to the John Banks Review channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you around the latest generation of Dacia Sandero and showing you what bang you get for your buck. So if that sounds good, then please keep watching. If you like new car reviews and car content, hit the subscribe button and join the John Banks Review channel. And also, if you wanted to test drive the Sandero for yourself, then you can do that at Cambridge or Ipswich via the links down below. So let's start by talking about some of the latest changes to the Dacia Sandero because it looks a lot smarter. And that's because it wears Dacia's new logo at the front. You've got that very sleek white design and I think that looks fantastic, especially with this white paintwork. It really works very well. In fact, this latest generation of Sandero to me looks a lot like a Volkswagen Polo. You've also got that mirrored badge in the LED lights, which look great. Now, the one thing that you still don't get when it comes to the Sandero to keep those costs low is alloy wheels. So you will still find a set of hubcaps. Dacia has made choosing your model very simple. There's just two trim levels. The Essential trim that costs $13,795. It gets Bluetooth, a smartphone app, DAB radio, but no media screen. It also gets cruise control and air conditioning. The higher spec model that I've been driving, the Expression trim, will add on things like the 8-inch media screen, steering wheel controls, automatic lights and wipers. This more equipped model will set you back £1,000 more and is likely well worth the premium. Something which hasn't changed when it comes to the Dacia Sandero is space. It's still as spacious as it's ever been, and that means that inside the boot you get a whopping 328 litres of boot space. That pretty much beats anything in its class. However, it's quite basic like the rest of the vehicle. So inside the boot, you don't necessarily get any 12-volt charging points or an adjustable boot floor. Although you do get some handy hooks for your shopping, and I think for most people, it's going to be more than practical. So if it's got that much boot space, it must be tight in the back. But no, not really. It's pretty good. I've got a nice amount of legroom, I've got a decent amount of headroom, there's still quite a lot of space and I'm just over 5'5". I guess the only thing that's missing is any amenities above and beyond. I mean, I do get electric windows in the back here, which you didn't even used to get in the front when it comes to Dacias. But I guess it is missing out when it comes to charge points or any centre armrest storage. If you're looking for a diesel or a hybrid, then you might be slightly disappointed. Dacia have continued to keep things very simple with the Sandero. There's actually only one engine. It's a 1-litre turbocharged petrol. Although, despite not getting a hybrid, you can get a bi-fuel option. But for a second, I'll just talk about the petrol. It gets 89 brake horsepower and it will sprint from 0 to 62 in just under 12 seconds. So not exactly quick, but it's more than enough for around town and for shorter journeys. In fact, it copes pretty well in all scenarios. It keeps up with traffic and it's also good for joining dual carriageways. It just loses a little bit of its power at the top end. In terms of that bi-fuel option, it works by utilising two types of fuel, petrol and LPG, liquid petroleum gas. The engine is designed to run on either fuel, giving the driver the flexibility to choose between them. The benefits of this bi-fuel engine include lower fuel costs, as LPG is generally cheaper than petrol, and reduced emissions, as LPG produces fewer pollutions compared to regular fuel. Additionally, the bi-fuel engine provides a longer driving range, as it can switch between petrol and the LPG tank when it's empty to ensure uninterrupted travel. There are around 1,400 LPG refuelling stations in the UK. Despite the bi-fuel getting a little bit more power, it's actually no quicker than the petrol. And both of these engines are paired together with a 5-speed manual gearbox. So with those power figures, it's clear that Dacia haven't exactly built a sporty car when it comes to the Sandero, but I'm definitely telling you things you already knew. The Dacia Sandero has been set up to be affordable and just capable in all areas. It's certainly capable when it comes to its ride and handling. Sure, there's some bumps and there's a little bit of road noise, but most of the time it's pretty good. And it does roll a little bit in the corners. It's not exactly engaging to drive. But unless you're planning on taking the Sandero rally driving, and I don't think many people will be, then for everyday driving around town, it's more than adequate. Here at John Banks, we want to be a little bit different from other dealers. And though we talk about the positives, we also want to talk about the negatives rather than hiding them from our customers. And recently, on a Dacia Duster video I did, somebody said, why is she not talking about safety? So I'm going to talk about it today, because there is a headline that when it comes to Dacia, they don't pass that well in the safety NCAP testing. And why is that? Well, you see, over the years, NCAP testing has got extremely tough. To be able to pass with 5 stars, you have to include a lot of expensive safety features, and that pushes the price of the car up. The Dacia Sandero is no less safe than it's ever been. It's still a safe car, but it lacks in some of those above and beyond features like the blind spot detection and also rear cross traffic alert. By not adding these safety features, Dacia is able to keep the price down low, but that does unfortunately mean that it does drop it to 2 stars. However, you will still find it equipped with an anti-lock braking system and electronic brake force distribution, which helps prevent wheel lock-up during braking and ensures more effective braking. It also has emergency brake assist, which enhances the braking power during emergency stops. Electronic stability control and traction control system help maintain the stability and grip on the road. Hill start assist prevents the vehicle from rolling back when it's starting on an incline, and front and side airbags for the driver and front passenger, as well as ISOFIX child seat fixings for advanced child safety. So far, the Dacia Sandero can be described as functional but with no frills, and I think that perfectly sums up the interior as well. It's not perfect in here, but I am surprised to see a really nice leather-wrapped steering wheel and a textured dashboard. Now this is the higher spec model of the two, and it's definitely the option to go for if you want to get some of the nice upgrades, including a centre armrest. You also get this touchscreen as well. If you go for the essential trim, then unfortunately you don't get a touchscreen. So opting for this model means that you get all of the luxuries that you can expect in some much more expensive cars. If you go for this top spec model, you also get a ton of equipment. Loads I wasn't expecting to come in a Dacia. And that includes things like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You also get air conditioning, cruise control, and you get a rear view camera as well, which is fantastic. So what about the catches? What don't I like about the Dacia Sandero? Well, these seats could definitely feel a little bit higher in quality, but they're very good for the money. And the one thing that I don't like is USB ports. These are a little bit awkward. So the only USB port that you have is on the dashboard. And that means that you have a messy cable which trails around the interior. You also get 2 12-volt charge points, but of course nowadays not many people use those. So if you do want extra charging for your phone, then you're going to need to get adapters. So if you've been thinking about buying the Dacia Sandero, but you wanted to know if it's still really good value for money, then I hope today's video has been super helpful. And I've shown that though it doesn't have the bargain basement price that it used to, you get so much equipment, styling, and also space for your money. It may not have all of those really over-the-top driving features which make it a 5-star NCAP car, but that means you get an old school, less intrusive drive, and I think that's going to appeal to a lot of people. But let me know, what do you think of the Dacia Sandero? Pop it in the comments down below. And if you did want to book your own viewing for the Sandero, then you can do that at either Ipswich or Cambridge. I'll pop the details in the description box. If you want to see more videos like this, then hit the subscribe button, and until next time guys, see you later.